All right, so this video is extremely important. We're gonna talk about the most important thing to lose weight for good, keep it off for good, and just feel better, improve energy, the most important factor in weight loss, in fat loss, okay? So now, most of you, all of you know when you're eating things you shouldn't be eating, right? So I get asked a lot, it's like, what do you think about keto? Keto, what do you think about paleo? What do you think about the carnivore diet, the vegan diet, the Mediterranean diet? What do you think about counting macros? What do you think about counting points? What do you think about counting calories? What do you think about this and this and this? Like, what should I be eating? What should I be eating? That's secondary. The most important factor is how do you stick with whatever plan you want to do, right? Like, you know you shouldn't be drinking soda. You know soda's bad for you. You probably don't know how bad it is for you. Like, I would argue soda's worse than cigarettes, and I'm not joking. You know cookies are bad. You know the pizza at work is bad. You know the donuts are bad. You know buying the candy. You know you're making choices that you shouldn't be, right? Because you know it makes you gain weight, you know it makes you sicker, you know it makes you feel bad, but you do it anyhow. It's like, well, how do you stick with not eating the crap, okay? So let me give you a scenario, and this, I mean, it might sound crazy, but this has definitely happened. Let's say someone you really love, say it's your kid, right? Say your kid is going through kidney failure and they need a kidney transplant, and you're a match. It's like awesome, like you would give up a kidney to save your kid's life in a second. However, you're too overweight for surgery. And the doctor's like, you know what? You need to lose 50 pounds before we can do this surgery because we just can't do it until you do, right? You're not healthy enough to survive the surgery. Your kidneys, we can't do it. Are you gonna lose the 50 pounds? Of course. Or you're gonna be like, you know, it's just not the right time. You got the holidays coming up and Thanksgiving's coming. And then of course there's Christmas and, you know, Bob's leaving and we got the going away party at work. And then we got, you know, so-and-so's birthday parties. You know, it's just not the right time. It's like, do I do keto or paleo? I don't think I can do it. Of course not. You're gonna lose the 50 pounds. It's like, why? Because it's so important to you. Like, it's like, I have to do it. That's the key. The key to losing weight and keeping off for good is it just needs to be really important to you, all right? So for me, like, I can't think of anything more important than my health. Everything else in life is secondary to me being healthy. The only thing more important than being fit and active and healthy is my kids' health. It's like, but how do I keep them fit and healthy and active? By leading by example, okay? So here's what I recommend. This is how you stick to it. Okay, this is what works for me. This is the most powerful thing. I got a lot of strategies, but this is my favorite. So let's use kids, because I would guess most people watching this have kids. So let's say you have kids, right? Let me erase this. So I'm not gonna guess, I guarantee that nothing is more important than your kid's health, right? I mean, what else could be? Anything else is just stupid. Like, if there's a choice, well, you have to choose this or your kid's life. What are you gonna choose? Your kid's life, because that's the most important thing, right? And you want them to be healthy and feel good. Or like, if a kid is really sick, right? Are you not willing to do anything? Quit your job, fundraisers, do whatever you can to raise enough money to try and save them, of course. So what can we do to make your house so important that you stick with it? Here's what I recommend. Take your kids' pictures, or someone you love, your spouse's pictures, your nieces and nephews, your grandkids. Take their photos and put it on a table, okay? And then draw 50 lines underneath their photos. So here's their photo. So I'll do mine. We got Zane and we have Zari, right? Two most important things. I mean, this just sounds crazy, but it's true. Like, if it said, like, Steve, you need to kill all these people to save your kids, like, they're gonna die, right? That's just how I think it is for everybody. They're that important to me. And then do this. So these are the most important things to you. And then write down 50 ways, right? 50 ways that you eating well, right? That you avoiding the soda, that you being fit, that you being active and lean makes their lives better, right? Write down all the ways that being fitter, leaner, right? Healthier, more active, live longer, can do more, makes the lives of who you love better. Like, that's my how. That's how I stick to everything. That's why people are like, oh man, you're so motivated. I'm not motivated at all. It's just so important to me. It's easy. It doesn't take any motivation for me to eat good or exercise because it's so damn important to me. If you like judge my motivation on my ability to go shopping or watch movies or watch, you know what I mean? Like, some people will drive all the way to Green Bay and sit in the freaking cold to watch the Packers play football. To me, that's some serious motivation. You're not going to get me to do that because I don't care at all, right? I think football nowadays is awful to watch. So it's just, when you make it really important to yourself, it doesn't take motivation. On the flip side, write down ways that if you're sick and overweight and don't feel good and lacking energy, how that hurts their lives, how it brings them down, right? How you eating junk food in front of them will get them eating junk food. How you drinking beers every night after work will have them probably want to drink more beers. How once you make that happen, it's just so powerful. Like one of the this will never, it's just ingrained in my brain. So I used to be a softball junkie, so I had no batting cage, and I would rent it out once in a while. And a guy brought in his kid to hit, and this guy, he was so overweight, he couldn't even throw, to his own kid. So I threw batting practice to him. And he just sat in the corner playing on his phone. And it bothered me so much. It's like, how can you eat yourself to a point where you can't even play catch or throw hitting to someone you love? You know what I mean? And then, so for me, I learned from observing that, and it just makes all of this so much easier. It's just so easy. It's so easy to say no to the soda. It's so easy in any environment, right? Because you know how it is. People pressure you. It's like, oh, come on, you can just have a piece of cake or donut or pie. It's like, well, why are they doing that? Because it's uncomfortable to see other people doing better than you, right? So it's kind of like a drug addict. It's like, oh, come on, just have a hit, have a hit, have a hit. Or like, why are they doing that? Because if they're the only ones doing it, they kind of feel like a loser, right? So they try and bring you in with them. But it's just don't cave. Like when something's super important to you, it's like, nah, man, I just don't do that. This stuff, no. And then eventually they don't even bother. And then eventually they start asking you questions because like, man, you're doing really good for yourself. All right. So biggest thing, most important thing, it's not like what should I be doing? It's how do I stick to what I know I should be doing? And how you stick to it is by doing this exercise and making it so goddamn important to you that you just can't not do it. And it takes zero motivation, and you'll be on the wagon the rest of your entire life.